Hi, and a very warm welcome, everyone, to another edition of Vlan Asia's webinar. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I know everyone is already back at work and, things business as usual, and yet you found the time to actually join us during this cloudy afternoon for a session with us. Right, so Norman from Vlan Asia. I'm the head of marketing of Vlan Asia, and today, before we start, I'm going to do something different. What I'm going to do is I want to start the session with an icebreaker. So before we start the session, I just want to know that everyone's over here present. So what I want you guys to do is scan this QR code using your mobile phone. I know everybody is actually been using MySejahtera, and QR codes are not something which is foreign to you guys. So do scan this QR code, and we'll just go through this little quiz session just to get everybody going, right? So scan this QR code. What I want you to do is answer the question. So the poll is, do you remember the name of your very first customer? So that's the first question. So do you remember the name of your very first customer? This is the first customer that you've actually closed a sale with, right? So do scan the QR code, right? And the question will pop up in your screen if you have if you scan it with your mobile phone. So the question is, do you remember the name of your first customer? So I want to actually see whether you guys are actually present here while I do my presentation, right, in this webinar. Yeah, so do help me out, you guys. Scan the QR code which is on the screen, right? And answer the poll so that I can actually get some responses. Right. Do you remember the name of your first customer? Thank you so much for scanning it, right? So I do see you guys, there are responses coming in. Yep. Thank you. Right, so 80% of you guys say that you guys don't actually remember the name of your first customer. That's not surprising. Okay, so the next question is, do you remember the content of the last quotation you sent out? So that's the next question, right? Do you remember the content, the costings, the pricings, the items that you put in the quotation that you sent out just recently? Do you remember the content of the last quotation that you sent out? Great. Some of you have really good memory. So it's a 50-50 answer here. So we have 50% that say they actually remember, and the other 50% that says they don't. Okay, the next question would be, do you remember your last customer's contact number? The last customer that you actually spoke to, had contact with, the one that you're dealing with right now. Do you remember his phone number without using the mobile phone, yeah? Without using the mobile phone, right? Do you remember his contact number? It's a yes or no, just a yes or no. So do you remember? Right, so 70%, 75% of you guys say you don't actually remember the contact number, right? All right, the next question is, do you remember your last customer's email address? It's not that difficult to remember an email address, but do you remember your last customer's email address? Wow, 80% of you guys answered no. Okay, and the final question. Now, this question is interesting. Are you using any CRM softwares in your company? Are you using? Okay, so 80% of you answered yes, and 20% of you answered no. That's great. That's great that you have a CRM software in the company. Well, so let me begin. So today's session, right? The keynote that I want you guys to take back is that if you don't know your customers, you can't sell. It's simple as that, right? So it's important to know your customers in order to sell. So if you don't actually know your customers in terms of name, his phone number, his email address, which company he's from, it's very difficult to sell. Take it as like if you're actually meeting up a person that you're interested in, could be a girlfriend or a boyfriend. The first thing you want to know is that what's the person's name. The second thing you want to know is, can I have your number, right? You want to know the phone number so that you can actually get connected with the person. So it's important to know your customer in order to sell. Fun fact, right? Fun fact. So knowing your customer is the most important step to gain their trust, right? So if you know your customers, you will be able to sell, right? So the fun fact is 91% of the companies with more than 11 employees now use a CRM software, according to business.com, right? So if you don't have one, you're either a 10-man show company or you fall under the 9%, right? So this is according to business.com, right? So maintaining a good relationship with your customers not only allow you to maintain your sales revenue, it also allows you to upsell your other products in the future, right? So it's so important to actually be able to keep tabs and understand what your customer needs are, and also know what your customer wants, right? So the next thing is that, according also to Business News Daily, right? This is an online platform. So they did a survey to find out which is the best CRM softwares for 2021. And guess what? The best CRM, free CRM software is HubSpot, right? So last year when we started our MCO and Vlan Asia ourselves, right? When we started working from home, we had issues of getting generating leads and also connecting to our customers, because we're just like you guys, right? We are face to face. We like human interactions, right? So what we do is that we actually have a lot of meetings, physical meetings and all, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, it's MCO, it's lockdown, right? So what happened is that we all had to find a software that can actually allow us to generate leads, work remotely better. And so what we did was we sourced out for a CRM software, right? And then we came across this software, which is called HubSpot, right? The good thing about this is it's free, right? It's important to have a CRM software in your company so that it enables you to actually grow and know your customers better. But which one fits your budget, right? So for us, well, testing out a software for free, why not, right? So what we did was we actually downloaded HubSpot and we tried it out, right? So being able to download HubSpot and trying it out, right, we managed to see the potential of using a CRM software to generate sales, to generate leads, right? So regardless if you're just a one-man show or a huge corporation, HubSpot will allow you to manage your customers better and also give you an upper hand in terms of keeping that personal relationship with them, right? So you will have all the information you need in the palm of your hand. So in terms of what is the steps that you need to take, in terms of the contact details, the products that they're interested in, you have all those things in the palm of your hand because it's in the system, right? So that's a good thing about having a CRM system. Well, so now HubSpot isn't just a phone book, right? I mean, you have everybody carries a mobile phone. Everybody has a phone book in there, right? So yeah, what's the difference between having a CRM system and also your mobile phone, right? You can actually store the information, the data that you need in your mobile phone, right? I guess that's what you guys think, right? Most of your, well, the CRM software is not just a contact center, right? You don't just store the contact information in there, right? It helps you to gather all the information, the contact details of your customer, right? It helps you recall all the steps that you've taken. It helps you put it all in there, the deals that you make, how much quotations, the quotations that you sent out, right? It helps you track all those things in the system, right? I recall my younger days, singling, and when you fancy someone and you want to know them better, right? The first thing you do is to get their contact details. In my generation, it was ICQ or Friendster, right? So, but nowadays, right, it's mobile phones, email addresses, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, social media links, right? That's the current trend of getting in touch. It's important to build that relationship, right? It's important to have that bridge of communication with your customer, right? There's so many ways you can actually connect with them. But all this information, imagine if you're going to meet like, 5 customers a day, and that information stored in your brain, right? Sometimes you can actually misplace that information. So it's very good to have a system that you can actually put all this in there, and continuously have a system that can connect you and give you the information you need, right? So that's important. Now imagine having a software that enables you to have all that contact information stored in it, right? I would say that the first thing that comes to mind is the phone book, right, on your mobile phone. But now imagine also being able to store not just the contact information, but also being able to store the status of your sales process, the quotations you send out, send over, right? The deals that you've opened. Wouldn't that be great, right? And now imagine that you no longer have to be on call 24/7, right? You want to take an holiday, you want to go on a break, right? You don't have to worry that your sales manager or your manager is calling you up and asking you for all the information just to follow up with the customer, right? The customer calls up, there's an issue with the sales or the quotation, right? Imagine if you don't have to go through that process. No interruptions during your holidays, right? No interruptions during your MCs, right? Imagine having a system that your manager, your team no longer needs to bug you, right? They can just open it up and all that contact information is there, right? Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't that be nice, right? Well, you don't have to imagine that anymore. HubSpot does exactly that. If you look on the screen, right, on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see that you have all the contact information on it, right? Sorry, on the left-hand side, right, of the screen. So the contact information. So you have the name, the phone number, the email address, all the contact information of the customer stored there, right? So that's normal. You can actually have that on your phone book. Now, which company it comes from, you also can store it there. When he becomes your customer, right? When he becomes your lead, right? You can have that information also placed in there, right? When he becomes your customer, when he became your lead, right? His office address, all those information you can store in there. In fact, you can also store or you can customize the details that you want to put in there, right? You can customize and put in there. For example, like perhaps maybe you want to put in how many phone numbers. He probably has like 2 phones that you can contact. You can probably put in there, right? Or maybe you can put in there like he was introduced by someone. You can even put that in there, right? So all those information you can put in that section over there. In the middle section is where you put in there the line of communication that you have with the customer. For example, send the emails that you sent out, the meetings that you've created with them, the meetings that you want to have with them. All those information you can store it in the middle section of the CRM section, right? And then on the right-hand side of the screen, right, that section there is where you can create the tickets, the deals. You can put attachment on it, right? So imagine you're putting all that information in there and storing it on the system. Sounds great, right? So one day, if this customer, right, perhaps maybe after a few months down the road, if he calls up and he says, hey, I want to purchase this product, you remember you quoted me this price, right? You can just go into the system, you can pull out, you can extract that data, the old quotation that you sent out to the customer, you can double check it, and you can quote him perhaps maybe slightly higher, slightly lower price, depending on, your product, right? And the best part about this system is that you no longer need to do a double entry, right? HubSpot allows you to automate these processes. When you connect or integrate your email, your social media, your landing pages into the system. Whenever contact information, or your leads send you a form, fill up the form, send it to you, right? All that information will be stored in your CRM, right? And the good part about this is that you can actually go into the CRM. You no longer need to send an email out to your sales personnel or the person that is managing a particular region or a particular area, right? You don't need to send email out to them anymore. All you need to do is you can just go into the system and you can actually assign the lead to a specific person that you want them to follow up on it, right? So all this can be done on HubSpot, right? On HubSpot, it's just a click away, right? Everything is just a click away. Click on your unassigned and you can assign it to your salesperson, whoever is responsible. It's as easy as that. Now, you have a system that allows you to keep that relationship with your customer and help you better manage your customers and your team, right? So now you can actually check on the status of your customer or the follow-up of your team member with the customer. So you no longer have to micromanage and call them up and ask them, or follow up and see like whether the email has been sent, the quotation has been sent, or have you created the deal, or have you assigned the contact, or have you actually maybe what you call this thing, schedule a meeting with the customer. You no longer have to follow up that way. You can just go into the system and you can actually check it. It's all there, right? What's lacking is how do I get contacts, right? Now that's the other question. So you have a system that allows you to store all these things in there. You have it's a brain basically, right? A second brain for you that you can actually use. But the question is, how am I going to generate contacts? So that's the question that came up next for us, right? So we have this system. How do we generate leads, right? How do I generate leads? So now that's where HubSpot marketing comes in, right? So HubSpot marketing is actually a marketing software to help you grow traffic, convert more visitors, and run complete inbound marketing campaign at a scale, right? Now, HubSpot uses this word called inbound marketing. What that means is that basically when you run your campaigns, right, you get your customers coming to you, right? You create forms, you create ads on your social media, right? And you put it out there. Now, you don't want to lose out on leads that actually submit the forms. You don't want to lose out on leads that submit who lands on your web page, your landing pages. So HubSpot allows you to integrate the system onto its platform, and all those, like I mentioned earlier on, information that is sent to you, it will be stored onto the system automatically, right? Automated. So you no longer have to do a double entry, right? So now that's what it's called. That is what they mean by inbound marketing. So you no longer have to go to the customer and collect that information. Now the customers come to you, they provide you with all that information that you need so that you can actually sell your product more better. So now that method is used to get your customers to come to you. Unlike the conventional marketing where you need to go out there to find your customers and generate the leads, right? So in this way, it allows you to engage your leads better, engage your customers better, right? So we have all these platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all these social media platforms, right? I'm sure many of you already have social media, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, and all, right? But what are you doing with it, right? Are you optimizing? Are you generating leads from it? Are you using it to your best, right? Well, we fully optimize the potential of these platforms. We are basically sitting on a gold mine. If you don't optimize it, you're going to lose out, right? Well, that's where HubSpot came in, right? It helped us generate leads. On HubSpot, you will learn how to run campaigns more effectively, learn how to manage your campaigns, your social media ads more effectively. It's not just a system where you integrate it and, I need to probably hire somebody else who knows how to run the campaigns, set the settings and those things on your ads. What HubSpot does is it allows you to learn as you use the system, right? It not only monitors the ad performance, it teaches you who are your target audience, how you target the market that you need to target, right? Those are the information that you can actually extract from the system, right? Well, to use, it means when you use it, it means that you can actually generate more leads, right? More chances of us closing sales, more chances of us building that relationship, right? When you target your audience more specifically, more in depth, you'll be able to reach the right target audience, right? So if you can see on the screen, right, this is a screenshot of the system, right? It shows you how to set up your ads, right? So how many of us actually know the right way of running ads? How many of us know the right target audience to set? Yeah, sure, there's a lot of courses that you can take, learn, and in fact, those courses don't come cheap, right? You pay top bucks to learn how to set your algorithms, social media, SEOs, and stuff like that, right? Well, imagine if you have a system, right, that you don't spend money on, right? You can hire anyone to actually manage it, right? Just use it. As time progresses, you'll be able to learn how to set the right way of setting your ads. Right? Imagine if you have that kind of system, right, that teaches anybody that uses it. Well, this is what HubSpot does. It teaches you how to set the right target audience, and how to set your ads better. But on HubSpot, you don't even need to spend thousands of ringgit, right? All you need to do is just spend some time, learn, go through the HubSpot Academy. It teaches you. You don't need to pay top dollars on it, right? Just spend some time on it, and you'll learn the right way of advertising and marketing and generating leads from your social media ads, online ads, right? I'm going to show you a sample of what we did before and after. The progression of generating leads, right? So in March 2020, as we know, we were on a lockdown, right? So we started putting ads up on our social media, Facebook, right? So obviously, being new to this, we said, all right, let's try it out, put an ad, put a little bit of money in it, and let's see what we can get, right? So we put in like 30 ringgit to see what is the response like, right? We started up a Facebook page, right? We put an ad in there, we put in a little bit of money, and lo and behold, we only had 1 click and 1,000 impressions, right? So moving forward to May 2020, right? We studied the algorithm, we studied the analytics on HubSpot, right? Because we integrated the system to HubSpot. So we studied the analytics on HubSpot. So we started doing some fine tuning on the ads and putting it up, right? Spending the same amount of money, right? But the impressions were not good as well, right? So we did an A/B testing to figure out whether what we did wrong and what we did right, right? We had 4 clicks and 857 impressions. Now, fast forward to January 2021, right? Which was 2 months ago, right? Doing the same thing, we did study, we reset the whole system, we set the target audience, the reach, spending 30 ringgit. Now we had 6,000 impressions and 56 clicks, right? So we managed to generate more leads with the same amount of money spent, right? So imagine if you spend 3,000 ringgit or 300 ringgit, you can just times that with the clicks, right? So now it's not about the money spent, it's about how you manage your settings on the ads. So this is what HubSpot does. It teaches you as you go through it, right? It teaches you how to set by learning the analytics and figuring out which is the best target audience, which is the best way of getting the impressions, right? You will be able to learn to better, more effectively advertise on the social media, right? There is a video on HubSpot Academy, which is a 4-minute video on how you're going to set Facebook ads. I'm not going to play this video. What we're going to do is we're going to send you this video later on, right? As we send you this recording for today, as well as the deck that I'm presenting now. So you can actually have a look at it. It's not difficult to to set up and integrate your Facebook to HubSpot. It's very easy. It takes you about 2 minutes. The video is only 2 minutes, so it takes you about 2 minutes to actually integrate the whole system. So it shows you how it's done, right?
Hi there, it's Annie from.
Okay, so then we've sorted out our social media. Now the next thing is website. The other way to generate leads are from your website, right? It's essential to have a web page. Nowadays, when your customers want to know more about you or to see if you are legit, where do they go, right? For information online, they want to check out whether you're actually legit, they'll go and look for your website, right? Imagine if you don't have a website, it's just a bit sleazy, right? So we saw there was a potential in the HubSpot CMS. The HubSpot CMS is actually a content management software, right? Content management software that is flexible for marketers, powerful for developers, and gives customer a personalized, secure experience. What it does is that it allows you to build a website on HubSpot, right? And it allows you to have full total control on it. So you no longer need to spend high cost on your servers, you know, you no longer need to spend a huge amount of money on hiring developers to develop your software. I mean, your website, right? You no longer need to spend time waiting for your banners or your landing pages to be developed by the developers. All you need is the HubSpot CMS, right? And using the HubSpot CMS, you'll be able to build your own landing pages, build your own website, right? And the best part about all this is that it takes up lesser time to do, right? So your
just one thing to add, Norman. Just wanted to add one more thing. Statistically, right, everybody who actually you advertise to, the first thing they do is actually to check out your website. So what actually are you doing to capture the details of the people who visit your website? So that's what HubSpot can do lah. So yeah, over to you, Norman.
Yeah. So the thing is, before we actually moved our whole website onto HubSpot CMS, right? I'm not sure, maybe perhaps 50% of you guys are probably on WordPress, right? So that's where we were as well. We were on WordPress, right? And then we were looking at the costings on migrating the whole entire thing to the HubSpot CMS, right? So we looked at the costings and we went like, hey, is it feasible? And then we realized that we actually paid quite a substantial amount on the developer's fee, right? To get a developer to actually develop our website on WordPress, and also the cost of maintaining the servers. And then when we compare that to HubSpot CMS, it's a no-brainer. HubSpot CMS is way more cost-effective, right? To have your website built on time, right? So it saves you time, it saves you money, right? And the best part is it's also secure. So you don't have to worry because it's on HubSpot's servers, right? So you don't have to worry about upgrading your firewalls or putting in the latest patch. So you don't have to worry about managing your own servers anymore. So that's the great thing about it, right?
Two things to add here. One of the things that we actually faced in the past was that every time when we want to do a marketing blitz, we wanted to do a marketing campaign, right? One of the key things to do is actually to build a landing page, right? So, and also to build stuff on our website. So our key one of the challenges that we faced was we actually had to wait for the developer to actually build something for us in order to manage our campaigns. So CMS actually helped us to shorten that time where we don't actually need to engage another web developer to actually do what is actually necessary.
Yeah, that's right. So like I mentioned, we no longer need to spend spend money on our server maintenance. So it's a huge savings there. And that's the cost of and on top of that, the cost of getting a developer to change something on your website. So we used to spend 500 ringgit every time there is a change on the website. For example, you want to start a campaign, you want to create a landing page, right? Developers used to charge us like 500 ringgit just to get that done. And it takes them like 3 working days to get it up, right? Sometimes even a month. So imagine if you want to start a campaign like right here, right now, right? Like for example, during the MCO, you wanted to do a work from home campaign, right? So imagine if it took 3 working days to a month, right? So we got to wait like a month until the landing page is created and uploaded. So imagine, I'm not sure whether perhaps maybe you guys are going through the same issue, right? With HubSpot, we no longer have to face those challenges anymore, right? We can change it ourselves, and it can be done within a day, depending on the changes. We can actually upload a banner within an hour, right? Just get the banner done and upload it, creating a landing page for campaigns within an hour, or perhaps maybe a few hours, depending on how complicated we want the landing page to be. We no longer are in the mercy of our developers. And the best part is updates are free. So our website is always current. We no longer need to worry about buying the latest plugins on WordPress, spending another few thousand ringgit to put it up there, right? And our servers are always secured, right? Like I mentioned. So that's the great thing about it, right?
SEO ready, by the way. It's also
Yeah.
SEO ready.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll come into that, right? So the next thing is that this is our website, right? So if you go down to Vlan.Asia, right? If you just click www.vlan.asia, you'll see that whole entire website is developed on HubSpot CMS, right? It's mobile friendly. You can use your mobile phones and log on to it, right? So we have no issues about that. And the best part is we even have a chatbot on it. Now, how cool is that, right? So we no longer have to worry about losing customers that come in, land on our our website, and have questions that they want to ask us, right? They can just type it out and leave it on the chatbot, and our sales teams will get the message and follow up, right? And the best part of the CMS is that it again teaches you on how to optimize your SEO, right? So with just a click of a tab, you will be able to view the settings. The system will alert you on what you're not doing right and what needs to be changed or in order to better optimize your SEO. If you look on the screen, right, you can see that there is a notification on the header. So it indicates that the header has an issue. So all you need to do is just go into the settings, which is the next step on top, right? The optimization is to show you which part of your website is having issues. And then the settings is where you just change it. So you just click on the button. You no longer need the programmer to go in there and do the changes, right? So it's simple as that. It's just a click of a button. Programming your chatbot is also the same. It's so simple, right? All you need to do is just go into the chat flow section of HubSpot and program your chatbot on what you want it to say, the response that you want when the customer sends in a question, right? Which products you want to put up there to promote, those sort of things you can actually add into the chatbot, right? So not only that, it allows you to capture all this and push it onto the sales team whenever there is an inquiry. So your sales team is always receiving notifications, right? And all the content, the information that is submitted by the customer is all stored on the HubSpot system. And obviously, if you build it onto HubSpot, you obviously need to see the analytics, right? So yeah, HubSpot also provides the traffic analytics of your website, right? So it's very in-depth. You can see what you can see the page views. You can see which page has better traction, right? All this information can be seen, right? Like I mentioned previously, on top of all that, we are also able to create landing pages, blog postings as well, right? So you can actually create your own landing page. It allows you to run campaigns and help you generate leads through those landing pages. Once you get a hang on how to create one, you'll be able to develop your own landing pages within an hour and start your campaigns. You no longer need to wait weeks or even months to run your campaign, right? So here's a sample of a landing page that we created, which is our Work From Home 2.0. If you go down to our website, you'll be able to see it, right? The form on the right allows you to capture the leads information. It will be stored on HubSpot, and it goes and a message, a notification will be sent by email to your sales team, right? So they can actually follow up quickly. You no longer need to tabulate the data, manually send it over, or maybe tabulate it on an Excel sheet, double entry, send it to your sales team. Some of you, I'm sure you're still doing that manual process of doing it. So here's a sample of the email that we will receive when a lead actually sends in an inquiry, right? When they fill up that form on HubSpot, so you'll get a notification, your sales team will get a notification. So you'll be able to see who sent in that inquiry. You'll be able to capture the mobile number, the email address on your email, right? That email message. So you don't even need to go into HubSpot, right? You can immediately call the person up because you have all his contact information there, right? So it's easy and it's all in one system, right? And after which your sales manager could probably assign it to the right salesperson to follow up through the system as well, right? So you no longer need to tabulate it on an Excel sheet and send it over. So it's less downtime for your sales team, right? And less downtime means more satisfied customers, right? They know that you're actually following up on them. Right?
One fun fact to add, Norman, can you go back one slide? One fun fact to add is that for HubSpot, right? For the best time to actually communicate with the customer is the moment they actually submit the form, or the moment they are actually expressing interest in whatever that they are looking at that point in time. So imagine how impressed your customer will be if the moment they submitted a form, you get notification, right? As the salesperson, you can actually contact the customer immediately there and then. So the customer will feel, number one, very much more appreciated, and that his needs are actually being attended to immediately as they are looking for it. So that's a fun fact. That's the best time to actually communicate with a customer, the moment they submit the form.
Yes, that's right. And of course, analytics is important as well. So you want to see which campaign you run more successful, which one actually generates sales, which one generates more leads, right? So HubSpot allows you to do that as well. It gives you all that analytics you need, right? So you can actually improve on the campaigns that you do, no longer making mistakes, and better your campaigns, right? So in the future, you'll do better, more effective campaigns. So like I mentioned, HubSpot is not a system just to allow you to generate lead. It actually teaches you how to better program or run campaigns, right? So that's the good thing about it. This is a short video. It's a 2-minute video. I'm gonna show you how to create a landing page. It's a very simple way of creating a landing page. Obviously, to create a landing page, you need a logo, right? So you just prepare your company logo, right? choose a template on HubSpot, landing page template. For this one, it's clear and conventional headlines that describes your offer, right? So yeah, so you just choose a template, drop in your logo at the top, right? Put in your message, right? A header. Put in the form, create a form, right? Name your form so that you can actually track it. Okay, add it in. Right. Put in the information, the content of the campaign that you want to run, right? Captions, the offers, right? Just put it in there, right? Just click the screen and type away. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this, right? And obviously you want to put in a nice promotional image that will attract your customer, right? That shouts out the message. Just drop it in there. Okay, put in a quote. Okay. It's always good to have a testimony that together with your landing page, so that when your customers look at it, they know that it actually is actually effective, right? There are people to testify that it's a legit promotion. So yeah, putting a quote in there, or a testimony from your customers is also good, right? It's all just click, drag and drop, right? There's so many images that you can choose from, the templates. There is also, and also you'll be able to select what sort of yeah, just drop it in there, like the footer, create a header, put in the logo, right? So as you create this landing page, you learn how to do it. Obviously, the first time when you do it, it's a little bit tricky, but when you start doing it time and time again, you will learn that it's actually quite simple to create a landing page, and it doesn't take much time. Yeah, and you're done, right? That's how easy it is. It's created. Yeah. So all the information that lands on, all the information that is collected, it's stored onto HubSpot's platform, right? So you can go into the CRM, Customer Relationship Management System, and you can actually check out like who submitted the form, where is the lead from, and all those things. And the best part about all this is that there is no need for double entry anymore. So you no longer need to export the information from Google document or export it from Excel and then submit it to your sales team. It's all on one platform. So the key takeaway today, I'm going to just reiterate it, is that you need to know your customer. You have the information in the palm of your hand. It makes your sales process more easy, right? And now I would like to pass this over to Lance, right? And he's going to show you how we actually use the system and we integrate it and into another system. Over to you, Lance.
Thanks, Norman. Okay, so thanks, Norman. So as some of you might already know, I've done a bunch of webinars about digitalization in the past. So I'm doing one at the end of this month if you want to join too. So you all know that I'm actually very big on digitalization. I'm a very strong proponent of doing less work for a lot more output. So one of the key aspects of digitalization is, for our customers especially, is automation. All right, there's only so much you can do manually, and there's only so many emails you can eyeball in a day. So I mean, personally, I get about 400 emails a day, so I can't eyeball every single email. That's why sometimes I miss emails, right? So how do you make sure that every single order is attended to if it comes in through so many channels? How do you ensure that you get everything done right without any human error? So with this in mind, what we did is we actually came up with a product to automate a physical retail item with online e-commerce. So by harnessing on the integratability of the systems, all the systems that we carry, right, we can actually take an entire buying process right down to the payment collection and reconciliation to fully automate the buying process. Take, for example, a hand sanitizer. Say for example, this hand sanitizer, right? So a customer can scan an offline QR code, which can be attached to any product line. I mean, this is just a hand sanitizer example, but what we are able to address is the customer by name through WhatsApp, send him the product brochure through WhatsApp or email, a link with the landing page where the promo is running. So for example, if you scan this QR code you see on the screen here, if you scan this QR code that you see on the screen here, that you will actually launch WhatsApp for you. If you actually send the first message, you will notice that the message that responds automatically is actually addressing you by name already. Right. So you can actually see the product brochure. You can see the link with the landing page where this promotion is running. The moment you submit a form, which is on the landing page itself, it actually integrates together with Xero, which is our accounting system, and it sends the invoice to you automatically through WhatsApp also. And on the invoice link, you will actually see a Pay Now button, which allows you to collect payment through credit card. And the moment payment is made, the reconciliation of the payment is also done automatically. So this entire buying process is completely human and devoid of any human interaction. I mean, sometimes you do need to communicate with your customer, but then in this case, because you want to be able to make sure that every single sale is accounted for, every single inquiry is accounted for. So the customer in the end is also added into the CRM automatically for future communications as well. So HubSpot is at the center of all of this. With the landing page that you see, it collects all the information that is required for the invoice. It collects all the information that is required to send you more information on brochures and such. So this is how we actually automate and integrate all our systems together. So this offline to online retail solution is an integration between HubSpot, Zendesk, Office 365, and Xero. So these are some of the funky stuff that we do. These are some of the funky stuff that we automate and digitalize for our customers. Yep. So back to you, Norman.
Yeah, thanks, Lance. So if you're looking for a CRM software that is easy to manage and easy to use, right, and it's user friendly, and if you're actually looking for something that allows you to learn how to generate more leads, right? Or perhaps maybe you are looking for something that actually allows you to manage your own website, right? Well, HubSpot is something that I would recommend you try out, right? And it's free. If you realize, like earlier on, right, is the top 5 most word offering CRM software in the market that you can actually use, right? And it's the free software, right? It's a free software, so you can actually download it and try it out, the CRM, and see whether it actually fits your needs, right? And after which you can actually try out the CMS and the Marketing Hub as well. So if you actually have any questions that you want to ask, or if you have any inquiries that you want to that you have, right, you can actually drop them in our Q&A section and we can actually take them, right?
Okay, one question that I received on WhatsApp. CRM is free, but things like CMS and marketing is paid. What do you think would be useful for my business of 15, where we actually have to manage our customers via Facebook and also WhatsApp? Norman, you want to take that?
Maybe you want to answer it? It's easier. You just go through it, right?
Okay, so basically, to answer this question, yes, the CRM for HubSpot is actually free. But of course, if let's say you want to do things like social media marketing, you want to do things like landing pages, you want to do things like more detailed analytics on what you want to see as to whenever the customer lands on the page, and some and automations and such. Of course, yes, the HubSpot, there is a free tier for CRM, but if you want to do things like landing pages, you need an SKU called CMS or Marketing Hub. So that one is a paid service. For CMS, I believe it is 300 US per month, I think. Yeah. But if you pay, let's say on a yearly basis, I think you're entitled to a 20% discount. And on top of that, and also if let's say if you're going for Marketing Pro, it's the same thing. If you do monthly, it's a certain fee, and if you go annual, there's a 20% discount on top of that. One of the things that if you were to get one of this subscription through us, through Vlan Asia, we're actually able to potentially get you slightly more discounts, but of course that's not going to be the focus of on how we are going to help you guys to implement HubSpot in your environment lah. Because we are not here just to help you with subscription of the license. We're also here to help you improve on some of your marketing processes, to improve on some of your sales processes. So it's not just on licensing that we are able to help you. We are actually able to also help you to maybe structure your website better, to maybe also run your marketing campaigns better, and to manage and to oversee some of the analytics that comes together with it. All right.
Yeah, we can also advise you on which tier to take, or which hub or software that which one that you actually require, right? Because it's not cheap, right? CRMs don't come cheap, right? But HubSpot, I would say, is the cheapest among all the other CRMs out there. So it's worth exploring and looking into if you've not used a CRM software before, right? So this would be something that you can actually explore and try out, right? I would recommend if you have a business and you're looking at growing, this is something that you need to look into, because once your contact base starts growing, right, and then you want to look into a CRM, I tell you, it's going to be a headache for you to import all that information into one system for you. So it's good to start early, right? And then grow that potentially into something which is, which it's a gold mine that you're sitting on and you're not actually tapping into. So it's important to actually have a CRM, right? Okay, I guess there's no other questions that's coming in, right? So if you're wondering whether or not we will be sending over this recording as well as the slides, yes, we will. We will also include the video for you to actually have a view on how to set up the social media section on HubSpot, right? How do you integrate your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram onto HubSpot, right? And better monitor it, even YouTube, right? To monitor your ads. There's a short video that we'll send over. Also that video on how to actually set up a landing page, right? All those videos are actually available for free on HubSpot Academy, which is on the website, right? So you can actually go there and explore those videos as well. So it's not difficult to use the system. It's really not difficult, right? We started off not knowing how to actually, I myself don't even know how to set up a website, right? I don't have actually a programming knowledge, but going through that videos and then setting up the website myself, right? It's like, wow, now I know, now I've learned something. So yeah, it's that easy. So if you have any questions, any inquiries, do scan that QR code, send us your questions or inquiries on the system, or if you want to know more, you want to get in touch with us, right? Yeah, just let us know and we will get in touch with you. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us. I know it's a very gloomy weather out there, right? But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the end of the month, right, Lance? 30th, that we have another session that we're going to organize.
Right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day ahead. Bye. Okay lah.